3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading, in particular, mystery reading number 994. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and would like to help support it, you can do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome, and thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So, starting with interpreting the number 994, the number 9 is about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. In a lot of these readings lately with the 990s, I've been saying a lot to trust the sense of purpose that you feel, or to trust the feeling that you have, to seek out a sense of purpose. And I still feel that way. What purpose means to everybody watching this is going to be different for everybody. But I feel like in the most vague way possible, I feel like we all can agree that we do want to make a positive difference, and we want to have a positive impact on those around us and in the collective as a whole. I think we all can agree that we're fighting for good and not evil. And to be more clear about what I mean about evil, I don't know, is there a difference between the biblical definition of evil and not so biblical? I don't know. I did see the number 234, which is a sign to trust that everything happens for a reason, and I do believe for a reason that evil for me is defined as doing wrong, knowing that it's wrong. And if you did hear the sneezing in the background, usually when that happens, it's about blessings, which I think is interesting that came through while we were talking about evil. Let me think for a second. I feel like this is about the yin and yang idea that there is light in the dark, or there is good within the bad. And I think, it's more about learning. I just saw the number 345, another sign to trust everything happens for a reason. And I think it's learning that brings us blessings. Learning from the dark, the evil, to better understand what we don't want to do, what we need to do differently. Perhaps there is a situation or a person here that is wrong, or doing wrong, knowing it's wrong, and there's something here for you to learn from that, or many things. There are a lot of different things you can learn. But perhaps you see something in this evil that you could potentially see within yourself in a way where if you don't change course, you will become that evil. This could even be like a parent or an extended family member that you may see yourself in. I did say the number 9 is also about helping the world release what no longer works. So whenever you feel called to release, to protect yourself from fighting for evil, this is confirmation to do that. And I think this is more, it can be more physical, but I do believe that physical evil is a reflection of mental, emotional, or spiritual evil. Having thoughts that you know are not helpful, that you know are wrong, or feelings or beliefs that aren't fair to you and ultimately those around you. I do get this feeling of needing to detoxify, like a spiritual detox, or this feeling of purity, but not in a I'm perfectly innocent type of way, but rather in a sorting out the grievances that you have against yourself kind of way, if that makes sense. You could feel frustrated at yourself, but beating yourself up about it is not only is it not fair to you, it's just going to make you more frustrated with yourself, because you're going to keep doing things that you don't like, making decisions that you don't like. So I do encourage you to be kind to yourself for not being perfect, for making mistakes. It's never too late to grow. It really isn't. And if anything, if growing as a person is something you've been stubborn to for a long time, you should be proud of yourself for making the decision to do something differently after all this time. And I'm being reminded about how some people, they say about older people that it's harder for them to change because they're more set in their ways. But I find that a little bit ridiculous, because I don't believe that you're too old to learn or to grow or to change as a person. It's never too late to heal and to do right. And I think it could be a really emotional experience for somebody to forgive themselves or yourself. And you deserve it. To forgive yourself so you can heal and grow and change as a person. And choose your battles wisely. We'll keep it at that. The number 4, we had a lot to say about the number 9, which is surprising because I've been talking about the number 9 a lot. But number 4 is about stability, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I feel like this is exactly what the focus should be for you, to make sure there's not too much darkness. Really just working through your emotions, changing your perspectives, your mindset, and ultimately changing your beliefs and aligning with a belief system that reflects truth and what you deserve. And ultimately manifesting a reality that reflects truth back to you and is more stable and more secure. You could be craving, honestly, stability and security, and the best way to do that is to create it within yourself first. Be secure, learn how to be secure in who you are and what you deserve. To create more emotional stability. I do feel that there's someone here who carries a lot of anger. Like when I was talking about feeling like frustrated towards yourself. I'm really feeling that frustration. It doesn't necessarily have to be towards yourself, but you know, it's hard sometimes to be kind to ourselves, but I really do feel like that is what you need, is kindness and patience and even understanding toward yourself. Of course, not to make excuses for mistakes, but just let yourself make them. So you don't focus on them so much that you keep making them. You know, you don't dwell on them. It's okay to be kind to yourself so you can move on. The number 4 is also about ancestors. And I feel that this is a particularly important interpretation for you. Perhaps you've made some of the same mistakes that some family members have, whether they're living or dead, or distant past. And you could be the one to really, as they say these days, break a generational curse. Your family might not, I mean, it really depends. Just in case, I want to say your family might not take it as well as you deserve, because they may still be comfortable in that dysfunction. But that doesn't mean that you should also stay comfortable. It's okay to be different and to cut out family and people who don't support your growth and the awesome decisions that you're making for yourself. Eventually you will find people who see more than just your past. I just want to say again, it's never too late to do good. And honestly, I really feel like you could be inspiring for people who have been where you've been, who are still there, and maybe even people in the future who get caught up in the mess, the dysfunction. And I do think that in the future there will be people who will be impressed, really, with how much you've changed, even if they just met you. And you deserve to have those kinds of interactions. You really do deserve to have more support. And I do believe that the ancestors that are on the other side, not in this reality, they do support you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. They support those positive changes that you're making because they see a lot more than you do. Our ancestors see a lot more than we all do. On the other side, they see a lot more. And that's why I believe that they are coming forward and have been for so long to guide us and to support us into creating a world, ultimately, that is more stable, secure, collaborative, safe. And I think they really just want us to understand that starts with us. Change starts with you. You know, be the change that you wish to see. That's a big message that I feel that ancestors, my ancestors, yours, are coming through to give us, to be the change that we wish to see. Because somewhere in the past, when we were children, we did believe in a better world. And somewhere along the way, we let that idea go. And I don't think we ever should have. But when you're a kid, I don't think you should really blame yourself either. Make sure you're being balanced in how you're approaching yourself, you know. Don't be too critical, but also don't be too lenient. It's like hold yourself accountable, but, you know, don't expect yourself to be perfect either. really had a lot to say for whoever's watching this, because maybe you really need this reading. But I'm going to go ahead and add up these numbers now. I bet it's going to be the number 4. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 4 is 22, and 2 plus 2 is 4, which is confirmation of seeking out mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical stability and being backed and supported by your ancestors on the other side. So I was going to pull quite a bit of cards, but I don't think I'm going to pull as many cards now because I didn't expect to speak on this number for like 15 or 16 minutes. So let's start off with drawing out a couple of cards from this box here. And I just saw the number 5, 5, 5 on the timer. Change, transformation, confirmation to embrace positive change and the positive transformation that you are undergoing right now. So the first card is song lyrics. Well, on one side it says instrument, so maybe you feel called to music somehow or playing an instrument. Song lyrics are from the song Lydia by Highly Suspect. It says, I've seen better days, so unafraid of my youth. I can't breathe, much less believe. And then we have the number 1 here in the corner, which is a sign to trust yourself. This card really emphasizes the frustration and maybe even the fear. You might have a lot of fear that you need to work through, but don't let all of that work discourage you, because it's about, as they say, it's about the journey, not the destination. There's so much that the universe and your spirit guides want you to learn and have to show you along the way. And, you can't move too fast if you really want to pay attention. So it's okay if it takes time to grow. It really is okay. For the next card, wow, it has the number 555 on it. What heavy sadness do you hold on so tightly that you're angry? I did say I am really feeling that frustration, and I also like to say that anger is sadness's mask. Whenever the sadness isn't addressed, it eventually turns into anger. So kind of like think back to when you weren't so angry. You weren't, really at peace, but you also weren't this angry. You were somewhere in the middle, sad and upset. Where do you need to find closure? I think that's really important for you to pinpoint at this time. Yeah, healing, a lot of healing, it feels like needs to be done here. Your emotions matter. They're valuable and they're powerful. And that's why it's important that you process them and work through them and understand them, so that way you can learn how to control them and manage them. Let's get one last card. Speaking of the number 9, this card here has the number 999 on the top. It represents the Hermit, which the Hermit card itself has the number 9 on it. Confirmation of purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. If you don't understand what your purpose is supposed to be, just keep healing. Keep focusing on healing. And over time, I believe that it will reveal itself to you. And that's just mostly for people who don't understand it yet. You may feel it, but it's there. It's somewhere. And I believe that our experiences, the things that we've been through, the things that make us angry, are connected to our purpose. The reason why I believe that is because sometimes anger is not about getting rid of that feeling. Sometimes it's completely valid. But it's very important for us to express this anger in a healthy and constructive way. So instead of taking it out on ourselves or the people around us, we can invest it into something that we're passionate about and some kind of difference that we want to make in the world. It's not about getting rid of it because it's valid. It's about repurposing it. So maybe that message is particularly important for somebody who struggles with anger. It's okay to feel angry. You just need to express it and use that energy differently. But this says, being the change you wish to see and helping humanity release what no longer works. That's literally what it says. It says leadership, strengthening and expanding connections, heal yourself to help heal the world. You are bigger than yourself. Lead by example. You will inspire those around you and your energy will travel. Reflect. This feels like it's confirming quite a bit of things that I've already told you. Being the change that you wish to see and inspiring those around you. And the idea that this is bigger than you. Whatever you've been through, your story matters. Not just because you matter, but because there are other people out there who need to hear it, and they need to see you rise above the ashes. This is literally starting to make my eyes water. You really might have to fight hard to get to where you are, and you really should be proud of yourself. Really. Yeah, I hope that this reading reaches whoever it needs to reach, and it has as much of a powerful effect on you as it's having on me. So let's go ahead and wrap up this reading by drawing out a couple of cards from the Prisma Visions Tarot. I'm going to try not to spend too much time on these cards because I am running out of time, unfortunately. But for the first card, I have the King of Wands in reverse. Yep. Immediately, we're talking about that anger. Your anger does matter. It really does. But like I've said, I feel like this is just confirmation to make sure that you're using that anger and that passion wisely. That anger just means you care. So, this could be an important time for you to decide what you want to do with it. This energy. And I have the 9 of Wands. Another 9 there. You do have a purpose. The things that you've been through matter. Because like I've said and like it's been confirmed, you have potential to lead. To be the change that you wish to see. And to inspire others to walk the same path. To embrace the same changes. And to ultimately contribute to a collective movement. This 9 of Wands also tells me that you could be exhausted and really tired of something or someone. And it's almost to that point where it's, it will become a burden. Too much to carry. So one interpretation is it's important that you let go of what doesn't serve you and your well-being. I just saw the number 111. A good sign to trust yourself if it's hard to trust that this letting go is the right thing to do. Another interpretation is about patience. This journey could be exhausting, but it's important to be patient. And since you're already exhausted and there's still more to go, make sure you're giving yourself the rest that you need, whether it's with sleep or meditation or just some way to decompress and to focus on something else. You don't have to be focused on understanding what this purpose is all the time. You don't have to be focused on healing all the time. I'm just going to finish this up with a little bit of a summary. It definitely feels like you are feeling the pressure of something. I just saw the number 2, which could mean a lot of different things. Well, 2, not just 2. Could be confirmation of a significant relationship or situation that you feel connected to. I just saw 2, 3, 4. A sign to trust that everything happens for a reason. The number 222 can also be about balance and peace and your choices and prioritizing what means the most to you. So you take that however it resonates for you. But back to my little summary. I feel like the weight that you're carrying is more, at least, it can be more physical. Definitely because the Ten of Wands in the traditional tarot. We don't even have the Ten of Wands here. Maybe the reading before this one is important for you because the Ten of Wands came out in that reading. But the imagery on that card is carrying, literally someone carrying something heavy. So, on a more emotional, spiritual, mental note though, something is really weighing on you. Something that makes you angry and did make you sad at one point. And this Hermit card is really encouraging you to reflect on these feelings, these thoughts that have created a belief system that works against you rather than for you. This King of Wands reinforces the need to control your anger in a way that is directed to something meaningful rather than recklessly destructive and hurtful, whether it's to yourself or other people. And this Knight of Wands here is just here to encourage you to be patient and to know when to walk away and when to let go before it gets too much or before things get worse, or how you feel gets worse and it gets harder to control your own actions and your own choices. I just saw the number 432 as well on the timer. So we're going to finish this off with a good old trust that everything happens for a reason. You went through what you did for a reason. You feel angry for a reason. You felt sad at one point for a reason. And deep down you still may feel sad. But like I said, you feel that way for a reason.